I'm actually wearing a shirt that says, "Don't shoot me, I'm black." It's a political statement, and I support the cause. But actually, if you were a woman, you should be wearing a shirt that says, "Don't shoot me under 5 minutes, I'm horny." I was inspired to make another video because one of the comments from the last video, where I was interviewing women about how long...
Most dudes are like, what are we talking?
My boyfriend lasts like 5 minutes.
Oh, you know this is going on YouTube, right?
Is it?
One of the comments was like, "Men are designed to ejaculate and spread their seed in 5 minutes. That's perfectly fine." It's like, no, it's not. I mean, it is okay if you just want to make a baby, but sex is fun. And women are human beings too, and they want to have fun too. And we should not just be blowing their load immediately, as quickly as we can. So this video is about that. Now, it seems like a lot of guys seem to have this idea that just because you can have an orgasm in 5 minutes or whatever, that's okay for you just to do that, and who gives a shit about, it's just this attitude that a lot of the men obviously have, because most men are really not concerned about making sure the woman has a good time. I know men that have been following me do concern themselves with that, but a lot of men don't. And it's obvious because in the street interview I did, that we just put the footage up from, most women's answers to the question were like, yeah, most guys don't last that long. Once in a while you get a woman who's like, yeah, my man takes care of me. But a lot of women are like 5 minutes, 7, 10 minutes, whatever. So that just goes to show you that most guys clearly are not making the effort to satisfy their women. Now, longer isn't always better. And actually, the very short answer to that question is, to how long should I last in bed, is how long does your partner want you to last, right? Women are all different. All human beings are different, right? And there are women out there who, for whatever reason, maybe it's programming or preference or maybe a belief system, but that they like it fast and hard, and they can be done in 5 minutes. And I guess it'll be easy for those women to find lovers, and that's great. But you'll find that if there's a deeper emotional connection, certainly, and even if not, just even having sex for a longer period of time is just more fun. So that on its own is a reason to go longer. But if you're getting real and you're really, really present and you're doing breathing exercises and you're using some of the techniques, man, you can really have a great time if the emotional connection is there and some technique, right? Those things together. So I'm going to share a couple of things that I think will just help you a lot. So the first thing that you can start doing is you want to build up your muscle that allows you to stop the orgasm when it begins. Okay, and so the best way, it's a little muscle between your balls and your a-hole, and the way I like to do it is I used to just always, whenever I'd go and piss, I'd wait until I really, really had to pee a lot, and I'd start peeing, right? And then I would stop peeing. So I'd start peeing and I'd stop peeing. Then I'd start peeing and I'd stop peeing. I'd do that over and over and over. I'd always do that whenever I had to pee. And at first it's like awkward, and then it just gets better and better, and after a while it's fun. And I got so good at this at one point, I remember I really, really had to pee, and I started peeing and stopped peeing, and it felt so good, that release of just like when you start peeing again, it felt so good, it almost felt like an orgasm. And so I literally was like streaming, so that it was like when you see the sprinkler systems and it's like going and it's like shooting these, it was kind of like that. It was amazing. I literally was like, I had a piss that felt like an orgasm because I had so much control over it. It was really, really wild, kind of crazy. So if you start doing that, right, and you build up that muscle, then when you're making sweet love, and then you can combine it with the second technique. But basically, it gives you more control to stop yourself before you're gonna finish. Now, the other side to this is if you are aware of where your point of no return is. So basically at that point where it feels good and it gets better and better, and eventually you get to that point where you're like, this is happening, right? Here comes ejaculation, and there's no stopping at this point. So you want to know, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, that's like a 7. Let's say 7 is like, if you hit a 7, you're done. There's no going back now, right? So you want to start calming down when you get to about a 6. When you get to about a 6, you want to calm down. And just slow it down. You want to breathe, you want to get present. So it's like you never really get to the 7. You might get like to a 6.9, and then you're really, really like you're chilling by then, and you're taking it easy, and you might not move. You maybe make out, do whatever else you got to do, play with some titties, but just chill out. And as you go back down to like 5.5, 6, whatever, then you start going again, and you slowly that point of no return, what you'll find is that once you've stopped yourself, and you may have to use those PC muscles and flex, right, before you know, when you get to that point, when you get to that point of no return, or before. But as you stop yourself, as you build up again, to your point of no return won't be a 7, it might be a 7.3 or 7.5, and eventually it'll be like an 8. So eventually you can keep having these kind of orgasms that are like almost as good as like you know, ejaculation, and they feel like it, but you haven't actually ejaculated, which is really quite amazing. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff you can add to that, but if you want to just keep it really, really simple, I know people like it simple. So just be present with your breath. So just simple would just be like 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out as you're having the experience. And so if you're just present with the breath, and you can also sync your breath with her, that's also really powerful. And so just be present with your breath, and it just start slowing down when you know you're starting to get to that point. So if you combine that with flexing that muscle when you're getting a little closer, you're like, oh God, and you flex it, that's going to do it. That can make you, you know, a lover that's like way better than, you know, 90% of guys out there, easily, just by being able to stop yourself and controlling. And also just like the intention to please. It's like, and not because like, you know, if I do a good job, you know, then she's going to do what I want or whatever. It's just like, this is another human being that you're sharing an amazing experience with. Why would you not want it to be the most amazing experience for all parties involved? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a beautiful thing here. I find it quite shocking that guys aren't at least trying. Nobody's going to blame you if you like fuck it up, you know, like we do it. We all fuck it up. But like to at least have the intention to just do the absolute best that you can to give the woman the most amazing experience possible. You would think that would just be, you know, common sense, right? Like, hello. So yeah, so that's really what I wanted to share. Those two really simple techniques. And that's all I've ever used. I've never gone like super deep with any crazy like other stuff out there. You can go very deep down the tantric path if you want to, but I found just by being present and doing those things I mentioned, I've had some, you know, most customers were happy. I could say mainly happy customers. That's what I can say. Also, I found just one other bonus. You know, the more you connect with your partner before having sexual intercourse, the better it's going to be. So just doing some very simple eye gazing, just sitting and being present, just breathe and like pick an eye, usually their left eye, and you just connect with the eye and you're just there. That's huge. I mean, that's really, really, really huge. And I found if you just sit and be present for just 10 minutes, you know, longer if you can, something happens, something really amazing happens. It's like our higher selves are like somehow like connecting to each other, and there's this deep thing happening. And then when you go and make the love, it's really, really amazing. Some really amazing stuff. And for anybody who hasn't realized it yet, I'm sure you should have by now, but you don't need to have ejaculation to have an orgasm. You can have orgasms without ejaculation. And it's just a belief, because we've linked that pleasure with the ejaculation. But actually, as you practice this, you'll see more and more. You can have these amazing states without ejaculation. And actually, if you're very present with your breathing in the woman, you can get to that point of just before ejaculation, and you're in kind of like a subtle orgasm, and it's like a wave, and it can just keep going for a really, really, really long time. And actually, again, you can merge and you can be one with the woman, and you can have this people have profound spiritual experiences making love. So, you know, that's probably another video. But anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to rant about. I hope you like this follow-up video. If you have more questions, ask them. Put them in the comments, and maybe I'll make a video about it if it's a good question. Love you guys. I'm currently freezing my ass off in Vancouver, and I'm considering getting on a plane to Ecuador because, damn it, rain bumps me out. Just the same, I love you guys. Hope everyone's well, and see you in the next one. Go.
For over 10 years now, I've been a dating coach for men, helping men go out there and meet amazing women. Some of them get girlfriends, some of them get married and have babies. It's all happening. But the main tool I've been teaching for all these years is social freedom, the ability to go out there and speak to whoever you want to, whenever you want to, without fear. So if you'd like to actually get out there and start making sweet love to lots of people, why not grab a free copy of my Social Freedom Secret? It's freaking free, and it will help you build an amazing sex life. The link is below.